we are getting out there, we are getting the word out, and these type of events really do help with that. And when we're out doing phone banking, last month we called almost 700 households to talk to people, and so that is the way we're going to win this race. It really is a grassroots campaign. I was called by Jeff Mapes yesterday, who writes political blogs for the Oregonian, and my opponent had run a poll in the district, and he saw that the beverage pack had paid for this poll, and so he called me up and asked my opinion on that. And I said, well, that's the advantage you have as an incumbent. The lobbyists will pay for your polling. And I said, so that doesn't mean anything, because when you go out and knock on 4,000 doors or 4,500 doors like I have, that's really where you're going to win the race. It doesn't matter what polling says, it's what that face-to-face interaction, and that's how I won my seat at Chemeketa, and that's how I'm going to win this race as well. A little bit of background about myself. Brian hit the highlights. I am a third-generation Oregonian. I was talking to Russ, and he's a farmer out in the Silverton area out that way, and a lot of my family are farmers from up and down the valley. But my parents actually worked in plywood mills, just like Brian had mentioned. We moved all around the state when I was a kid. We moved from Brookings to Portland to Oak Ridge, back to Portland, back to Oak Ridge, and that's where we ended up settling. Because my parents were following the mill jobs as the mills were closing around the state. And we were trying to find a great place to live and for them to be able to raise my sister and me. And we ended up in Oak Ridge, and it was a great place to live. And then the mills closed, and things changed completely. And my parents had tired of moving, so we stayed. And we toughed it out. I was in middle school when the mills closed, and the one thing that's nice about that type of situation is everybody's poor, and nobody really knows how poor everybody is, because everybody's in the same boat. And as a kid, nobody had money. We were all poor, but we all did fun things together out in the woods for fishing and hunting and camping and all that sort of stuff. And so that was my childhood growing up, but I knew, looking at Oak Ridge, that there was really nothing there for me. And there was no future for somebody coming out of high school, because all the good jobs had left. When the mills closed, the jobs in the forest industry all left, and Oak Ridge just folded in on itself. The 3 car dealerships left, the 2 grocery stores left, and I looked at that and said, I got to get out of here. And I joined the Navy. I was 17. I was actually 15 the first time I called the recruiter. And I guess he heard, the youth in my voice, and he said, how old are you? And I said, well, I'm 15. And he laughed at me. He said, call me back next year. I can't even talk to you till you're 16. So I called him back the next year. I was 16. It was just a week or so after my birthday, and I made an appointment. I went down, signed the paperwork, and I actually signed my Navy contract when I was 16, and I left home when I was 17, about 3 weeks after graduating from high school.